Hey everyone, Disappointed Giant here. Welcome to what I think is our first viewer build on the channel. So this was submitted by Oliver, and Oliver recommended to check out the adaptation option in custom mode. So we did that. It basically switches your build out after every biome. It's pretty wild. But I also turned on a couple of other modifiers here that that we'll talk about as soon as the run starts. I originally did not expect this run to actually go the way that it did. I ended up doing this just to sort of test out some custom mode stuff, and we won the run, so here we are. So this is a viewer build plus, right? So Oliver recommended adaptation. We'll talk about that after we finish the biome here. But the other two options that I chose, so the first one is, I think it was called Into the Darkness or whatever it was called there. And it basically makes it so every level behaves the way that the Forgotten Sepulchre does. So you can see right here, even from the get-go, the darkness is starting to come in as I'm just trying to pick up an item out of the tubes. I'm just trying to get my build, and the darkness is already starting to come in. So similar to the Forgotten Sepulchre, we're going to have these little lights there. There are going to be bigger lights that we need to get through with like teleporters and stuff like that. So just like that level, the darkness is consistently coming in. So we got to find some light to like push it back. So it doesn't matter if it's Prisoner's Quarters, the actual Forgotten Sepulchre, boss fights, 5BC biome, doesn't matter. Everything is like this. So that's something that we got to keep up this whole run. The second one that I chose is, I think it's just called Fog, and basically that incorporates maskers into every single level. So you can see them here. There's one up top there, so that's the, where are they in? They're usually in the Slumbering Sanctuary and the Prison Depths, so that way they will obfuscate the enemies around you so you can't see anything. So I added both of those in because, again, I was just trying to like mess around, and we got the run. So here we are. So this was also a very lucky run. So you can see right here, we got our first challenge rift, and we got a scroll fragment in Prisoner's Quarters. So what does that mean? So every level has, from 3, 4, 5 BC, every level has a set amount of scroll fragments that you're going to get. So like whenever you go to Toxic Sewers, you're going to get 3 scroll fragments, right? Whenever you go to Promenade, you're going to get 2. I'm just talking about 4 and 5 BC here. There are 3 randomly generated, oh my god, look at this. We're going to see a lot of this, by the way. We're going to see a lot of darkness encroaching. Darkness is coming in. We're going to see a lot of it. But there are 3 scroll fragments that randomly generate and are put in specific biomes at the beginning of your run. So you don't know where they are. It's completely random, and they might be in biomes that you don't go to, right? So the game might generate a fragment in Toxic Sewers, in Ancient Sewers, and you might go Promenade into Ossuary, right? So you might end up missing them. So whenever you get oh my god, here we go. Here it is. We got darkness coming in. We're going to do this a lot. I'm going to try not to focus on it yet. I just keep looking at the screen going, oh my god. Oh man. So whenever you get a scroll fragment in the Prisoner's Quarters, you know it's a bonus one. Whenever you get a scroll fragment in either Corrupted Prison or Prison Depths, you know it's a bonus one because those don't normally have them. And I also think 5BC biome is also another level that doesn't normally generate scroll fragments. So if you see a scroll fragment in that area, you know you got a lucky one. So on the same screen, right, on the same level generation, I got a challenge rift, and then right next to it, we got a bonus scroll fragment. So that is a good omen. It's a good omen for things to come. Again, this run is very memorable. I hesitate because I haven't watched it obviously I watched it when I played it. I was looking at the TV when I played this, but I haven't watched it since I compiled the footage, so I can't remember exactly how insane it's going to look versus how it felt. So like I hesitate to clickbait this video and be like, this is the most insane run I've ever had, or like, you won't believe what happened. Watch the video title actually be something like that, but you know what I'm saying. So like I hesitate to talk about it this way in such absolute terms, but I will say that this run is nuts. From what I remember and all the things that happened, this run's pretty nuts. So I have my pen here. I got my pen and paper, so I'm actually going to keep track of all the bonus scrolls that we get, right? So we got 1 rift. We got 1 rift out of 5. We get 5 challenge rifts in this run, which is out of control. It's out of control. We get good dual stats. We get challenge. We're out of control here. So here comes adaptation. So we do all right in the prisoners' quarters. We bounce, and I'm looking at the build here. So it switched out everything except my backpack. So we get Star Fury, Salt Shield, Sinew Slicer, and Smoke Bomb. And I keep looking. I pause like 2 or 3 times here. And at that point, I realized that the items that we get, they're all default quality. They're not plus, they're not plus plus. So every level, I'm going to have to come into the Miner Forge here and spend money if I want to upgrade something either to plus or plus plus. So in addition to the 3 modifiers that we have, there's also the challenge of all of our items being completely base level, right? So the number is going to be the same, right? So we're getting level 5 coming in here. We're going to get level 8 or whatever it is coming in. You know what I'm saying? So like the number there is going to be the same, but the quality is always just going to be regular, right? So the highest I can roll these is up to plus plus. We can go from no like default up to plus up to plus plus. You can only upgrade the quality of a weapon twice after you get the advanced Forge 1 blueprint. So no matter what we get, we're gonna be we're gonna be spending money, and we're gonna be upgrading every single item that we get. So as I'm doing this, I'm realizing how important the economy is gonna be in this run, right? Already thinking about, okay, this is gonna be tough. We get the darkness, we have these maskers, I'm going to be switching my build out, but also thinking about, I'm already at this point, I remember once I started dumping extra gold into these items, I was saying to myself, all right, man, well, what if you need food, right? What if we need to go to a food shop to grab a potion, right? Like, who knows? Who knows? So I'm already, as I'm playing, I'm already sitting here being like, oh man, this is something, okay? And here we go. So the fog, the fog modifier already bit me in the ass. We get a rampager coming out of nowhere, out of that fog. So this is going to be, there's going to be a few big hits. Again, we make it through, we get very lucky. And part of the reason why that hit in particular was so big is you probably noticed the Star Fury I have is quad damage. It's a quad damage Star Fury. Oh, there it is. Another huge hit, right? I think I bounced back. Yeah, I bounced back up to like 24. It's another biggie. It's another big hit. But we got that quad damage. So what I could have done is I could have rolled that affix off, right? I could have rolled off the quad damage and got something else. But I'm just flying. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here again. I figured like, yeah, I'm not gonna win this run. You know, this isn't gonna be anything anyone sees, whatever it is. Oh, here we go, riff number 2. Make my little note. But it is something that we're gonna see. So I decided, I'm like, yeah, I'm just not gonna roll it off. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. We're not gonna make it through. So yeah, so we're dealing with quad damage. We got a quad damage Star Fury going into the second level in the game. So quad damage also obviously is it's hairy. I love quad damage. I love double damage, but especially this early in the run, like it's tricky, right? Because you have less scrolls, your HP counter is lower, right? And also we're in a cursed biome here, so everything's in this beautiful convergence of just being super messy, right? So we got the fog things everywhere. We got the darkness. We got different weapons. We got cursed enemies. Like this is wild. So I'm going to try not to bring too much attention to the obvious things. Like right now it's like, oh, there's some darkness. Oh my God. Then it's going to be another thing. Oh my God, there's some darkness. But it happens a lot. And basically, first off, let me just stop for a second. So this is actually the 3rd time that I've recorded commentary for this video. So the first one I did a few nights ago. That was like whenever I compiled the footage, I just, I did my commentary or whatever. And I didn't like it. I don't know. I feel like sometimes you do something, maybe if you're a creative person, if you're a musician, you do videos, like maybe it's something that you do for your work. Like I finished it and it just didn't feel right. So I don't know if that's ever happened to you in other ways, but like it just didn't feel right. So I deleted it. And then yesterday I made it maybe like 10 minutes into the recording. I think I got through, I was either at the end of sewers or through sewers, and an Amazon Prime delivery truck pulled up in front of my house. And where I live, it's people get Amazon packages around here often, right? That's just, I feel like that might be the norm everywhere at this point, but people get packages around here a lot. And the person's radio was so loud, I swear to God, it was so loud that it sounded like there was someone in the room with me, while I was talking. It was crazy. I think do we get a good food up here? I have a vague recollection of a turkey. Or a fake recollection of a turkey or a watermelon. But the radio was so loud that like I couldn't keep the recording. And you folks know I don't segment my recording, so I was like, I'll do it again or whatever it is. Part of what I was doing with this video is I had edited it. Every time I say that, this is like the fourth video in a row where I talk about this. After I edited, I don't know why that word feels so weird in my mouth. After I edited this video, it was very slimmed. Oh, here we go. Here's our first good duel. So we are not even finished with the sewers. We have 1 bonus fragment, 2 rifts, and 1 good duel stat. So this bodes well. But I had edited the video to be much more trim, similar to the what do you call them? Like the starting weapons videos that I've been putting out, or have put out, or will put out, depending on whenever you see this. And it was like, it felt too rushed. Like I went back to some of the footage just to kind of like go over my cuts. So like I recut it, and I feel like this is the video that needs to be out. Like this is the video that's like, hey man, I want to be on YouTube. I want to be out in the world. And the one I had was not that. And again, the bad commentary, the Amazon, I should thank that Prime guy next time he comes by. You know, next time he comes by to like deliver some, I don't know, some North Face jacket to someone across the street, be like, hey man, thank you for driving my creativity in the right way. But anyways, this is the third time I've done this video. I'm at a point where like I feel a little loopy about it, but it feels good, right? So I just wanted to share that little anecdote, just to like take a sec, just like be in the moment for a bit. And as I usually do, you know, I just want to say, first of all, what's up? First of all, hello. But also, you know, I hope where and whenever you're hearing this part of the video, I hope you're doing well. I know I feel like that's a saying I say a lot, but I mean it. You know, I hope everyone's hanging in there. Hope everyone's having a good time. You know, if you're playing Dead Cells, I hope your runs are going fantastic, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on. You know, Slay the Spire 2 just hit. Like, there's all kinds of stuff happening. So whatever you're up to, I hope you're enjoying it. And again, just thanks for popping in. Thanks for watching this. Thanks for listening to the commentary and my story about the delivery drivers and all this stuff. Means a lot. So vibes are good. Vibes are loose tonight, man. Vibes are loose. So this is the it wouldn't be Toxic Sewers without a direct slam into the ooze, right? Into the poison. It would not be a Toxic Sewers run. So I did that on purpose, just so everyone can be like, all right, man, he did it. Like, this is a normal run now, right? It's a normal run. So let's talk a little bit. So we talked a little bit about the adaptation, right? We're going to obviously, whenever we finish a biome, we're going to talk about the builds that we get. We're going to talk about why we're rolling, etc., etc. So let's talk more about the darkness. So everything, oh, hold on real quick. So we're going into Corrupted Prison. So this is actually a good build. The game gave me Spite Sword and it gave me Vengeance. So it gave me Face Flask. So I'm going to bump up the damage here. I think I did not roll. I don't think I rolled for any affixes on the Spite Sword. I don't have any synergies with it, but we have affixes on the Face Flask. So I could have tried to get poison. I could have tried to get whatever. So we're going to use Face Blast to take a little bit of damage. That's going to activate the crit condition of the Spite Sword. And then since we took Vengeance as a mutation, we're going to be getting an extra damage bump from that too. So I really like that combo. I feel like it's just the de facto / generic Face Blast Vengeance kind of thing, because the immediate feedback from the crits from the Spite Sword just makes it feel like you're doing a lot of damage, even if you might not be. But yeah, it's I got lucky. This is a very good build. For not knowing what we were going to get, this actually turned out pretty good. So here we go. Challenge Rift number 3. So this is our 4th good scroll. Our 4th bonus scroll already, right? But you can see, watching this curse here is a little hectic, right? It's a little bit hairy. We got the fog. We got stuff popping out that we're not expecting, etc. But it went pretty well. But the thing that you most likely noticed was we got all this darkness stuff happening, and I feel like it's more, at least with my eyes as I'm watching this now, it feels more urgent when I'm cursed, because you see the number over the head and you're like, wait a second. It felt so urgent. I needed to walk into those buzz saws like twice, right? Not once, just twice, just to really let it hit home. But the darkness is coming, man. Darkness is coming. So again, like I was mentioning in the prisoner's quarters or whatever, it basically acts just like this Forgotten Sepulcher. But all of the darkness rules, if you want to call it them, all of the darkness rules that are in the Forgotten Sepulcher, now they apply to every level, right? So when I say rules, what does that mean? So every teleporter has a has a permanent light. So we're going to walk by one right here. Every single teleporter has a light like that. So no matter what, you're going to find that. Throughout the level, there are these little lights that we're going to see. And I don't know specifically how long they stay on, but they're not permanent. They're temporary lights that will just kind of like give you a little boost to get through the level. This is actually perfect timing. The other way you can get lights is when you kill an elite. It will drop a permanent light. And then finally, if you find a secret in the wall, it will drop a light and a challenge rift. So all of those things are going to happen throughout all of these levels here. If you find a secret in the floor, it does nothing. There's no temporary light. There's no permanent light. It's only for wall secrets, right? So it's kind of a little strange, but that's just the way it works. That's the way it works. And one of the things that I tell people is when you're in the Forgotten Sepulcher, it can be pretty hectic in there, right? It can be pretty hectic. I tell people to always keep going. So, you might be in this huge room, you're going across this big generation from left to right, and the darkness is coming in, and there's no temporary lights in the way. Some people might be like, oh, I ran past a light, back there, let me try to get after it. And when you go back, those lights can be broken. I don't know if it's on purpose. I don't know if there's a time limit and it just so happens that when I go there, the lights are broken, but you might go back and get stuck. So you always want to keep moving forward, right? So no matter what, if you know where you're going, if you're in this big room, you're going from left to right, you want to continue going right, because at some point you have to hit a teleporter. You're either going to hit a teleporter, you're going to hit one of the teleportation stones, and there's going to be a light there, right? So you're going to find safety there. So there is a couple of points in this run where I try to do that, but because it's not the Sepulcher, it bites me in the ass, and we take a lot of damage. It's absolutely wild. And another thing, so I do like the Sepulcher. I like this modifier. It's fun. I feel like it's a little, of course, it's challenging. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I find it fun because it adds like an extra level of newness, right? It feels, because it kind of is. It feels like right here we're getting, where's the light? And then here we go, and here's our fourth challenge rift, huh? 4 levels in a row. That does not happen often. I know a lot of people will get like 1 or 2 in a row, or you get like 1 and then you get another one a couple levels later, but 4 in a row, man, that's pretty wild. But I do enjoy this extra modifier. It's like a built-in mod, like literally, obviously, you know, so it's like a nice fun thing to try. I say it's fun, it's like absolutely scary, and I remember being so nervous. I remember being so nervous as this run went on. But it's like a cool thing to try, and you know, if you've watched the channel, you know I'm not a big custom mode guy. I don't know if I'd have to go back and look. I don't know if I've actually done any custom mode actual videos here. Whenever I do runs, I just kind of let things fly. I'm pretty sure. I think the only one might have been the video where I went through and played runs with only the lowest stuff in my tier list. I think that might have been it. But either way, I'm not a big custom mode guy. And I saw Oliver's comment, and I'm like, oh, adaptation, that sounds fun. Like, that sounds like something I do. It's like I had a video where I picked up every weapon I saw that was brutality, and I had to use it. So it's almost like in that vibe, but I have no control over any of this stuff. I have no control over anything. Whatever pops out is what pops out. Right here, I'm engaging with this elite. I'm taking darkness damage because I know when I kill it, the light's going to pop up. So there's a lot of small moments in this run that feel very much like that. And also, there's always a light in the shop too, in case you didn't catch that when we just walked by it. So there's a lot of little moments of stress, a lot of little moments of stress. Maybe some bigger moments of stress for viewers. Hopefully, this isn't bringing back memories of my last stream, if you were there, where every run was just insanely stressful. But again, we make it through here, so there's no worries. We don't have any deaths. It's sort of similar to like when you, I might have already said this on the channel before, apologies if I have, but it's like when you watch a speed run and it's like world record, whatever, and you know that like, you know that the person wins the run, but like it's still, there's a lot of anxiety as I'm watching it. So hopefully you also don't feel that, because this run is very complicated. It gets super messy. But yeah, it's this was a very fun run. So we talked, so now you know, right? So we got the darkness stuff going on. We have the adaptation stuff going on. This we got some basic trap navigation failures going on. So this build, right? So the build that we got coming into, that's unbelievable, that we got coming into Ramparts here. So we got the giant comb, right? So you get that. I think you have to get a bunch of, like a certain number of outfits. I think it's like maybe 30 something or 40 something outfits. And you talk to the tailor's daughter and she gives you the giant comb. It's a very, very Devil May Cry-esque weapon. You can knock enemies up into the air with it. Any enemy that is in the air will take a critical hit when you have it. So like right here, if I hit this buzz cutter with it, yeah, you can see there I knocked out whatever that was, the crab. Yeah, you can see this crit. There's going to be an automatic crit here. So that's sort of the, I don't know if gimmick is the right word, but like that's the mechanic of that weapon. That thing just got yeeted up there. That's unbelievable. So that's the vibe of this weapon, right? So it's good. I really enjoy it. I feel that it's something that like it looks, I'm just going to say it, like it looks kind of dumb. If you think about it, you're like, all right, so there's this comb, whatever, but it's really fun. If you haven't used it yet, I say try it out. Like I said, it crits on all every enemy that is in the air, right? I almost said floating. Any enemy that is in the air, it will do a critical on. As we're taking some pretty serious damage running through this food shop here. Like, oh my god, dude. Yikes. But that also includes bosses, right? So Conjunctivius is always in the air. The giant fists and eyeball, Dracula phase 2. So there are you can go to certain bosses and just get constant criticals with this thing. You can get constant crits. So it's something that is worth checking out. Another fun thing you can do with this thing, if you throw it in the backpack, it's so cool because you can run through enemies, or excuse me, you can roll through enemies. They get knocked up in the air, and then you can hit them with something else. So as the darkness approaches, right? And here we go, wall secrets. There's gonna be a little light there. So in addition to, like, I fought that Oven Knight elite down there, even though the darkness was coming in, I saw that wall secret down there, so that's why I was like, all right, I'm just gonna knock that out so that way I can be safe for a few minutes here. So you can throw the comb in the backpack. I love using it with Pure Nail. It's just funny, right? So you put the comb in the backpack, you roll through an enemy and it goes up in the air, and then you use the Pure Nail's upward strike to get a critical hit. It's really fun. It's really fun. So I recommend messing around with the comb. It's one of the late items. I think it came in clean cut, which was 3.4. So not the last update, but the one before it. So it came in late in the life cycle, as a lot of the more, I don't think interesting is the right word, as a lot of the more unique weapons have come out, right? I feel like the longer we get, or the longer we got into Dead Cells' life cycle, the more unique the weapons were. So this is a very, very unique one. So it's fun. Again, you should check it out. Throw in the backpack, use it normally. The legendary makes it so that way if you are also in the air, the enemy will take more damage. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's a fun one. So give it a whirl. Give it a whirl if you haven't yet. And if you haven't unlocked all the outfits yet, or a bunch of outfits, there are the Everyone is Here outfits that you can get for free mostly. So those will add up to it. All the $1 all the $1 outfits, the Flying Alcoholic from the Cavern, the Robber one from the bank, the Cultist from the Shrines, and also the Knight outfit from the Magic Bow lower room. I'm pretty sure those are all $1. Those are one cell outfits that you can get your max outfit count higher, so you can get the comb. So another thing about the darkness, it's so funny because Oliver was like, hey man, you should try out this adaptation thing. And I've talked more about the darkness than I have about anything else. So thanks, Oliver. And also, sorry, man, I'm just, looks like we're taking an additional route. We're taking an additional route here. One of the things that's so dope, just about Dead Cells in general, is the effects, particle effects, fog and lighting effects and everything like that. The fog makes some of these levels look unbelievable. So like this, it's like sunset ramparts. It's beautiful. It really is. So this is a great level in general. I love this level. I love the color palette. Just in general, kind of feels almost like sunrisey type stuff. But now it's like, I don't know, man. It's like Ramparts After Dark or something, right? It's like the darkness is coming in, but it feels very like dusky. I don't know. I just feel like it's a really, really pretty level, right? So that also adds, especially because, we got the sepulcher. It's dark, right? It's literally a tomb with the whole background is all skulls and bones and everything like that. So, like, yeah, that makes sense. Something like the ossuary might make sense too. And now I think this is where we start getting into trouble. So I keep moving forward here and there's no light. So I'm taking darkness damage. There's nothing on this platform. And I'm just like, oh man, we're done. And I luck out and there's a temporary light. There is a temporary light on that platform. So we took a lot of damage there. So I don't remember exactly how much health I had beforehand, but we drank a flask and we're at 51%. I know I've said this a bunch. Here we go. We're fighting for that light. I guess one of the good things about the amulet I have right now is that when I take damage, there's a poison fog around me. Like it releases a toxic cloud. So at least I know when I'm actually taking damage from the darkness. So, and I think in here, yeah, it looks like the malaise. I don't know if the malaise hasn't cleared yet or if that enemy was just chilling in there. But we're coming back here to get a health flask, right? So that's one. I'm actually also going to keep track of my flasks. I'm going to, just out of curiosity, I just want to see how many flasks I end up burning through. So this is actually funny. So I originally edited this out. I put it back in. Because I was recording at this point, I had taken my camera out, my phone out to take a picture of the screen to tell people, hey, look at how many scrolls I have going into Concierge. I had 19 scrolls, which is insane. And I started taking darkness damage, which I thought was really funny. Really funny, right? Man. All right, so we get Spite Sword again. So we get Spite Sword for the second time here going into Concierge. It doesn't matter. Usually I like to roll biters off of items, but like we're not getting we're not getting anything. I should have also went back and rolled for additional affixes. I wonder if I didn't because I knew my gold was going to be low. I'm not positive. But I don't roll biters off because it doesn't matter, right? I usually roll biters off in general, not so much for bosses. Doesn't matter since we're going to be, there's nothing. the only biters that are going to come from the Concierge here. And my strategy here is, so I don't have Phase Flask. Because we have adaptation, I'm not picking anything up. Like you've noticed this whole time, I recycled that cluster grenade legendary. I'm recycling everything I get. I think I'm just taking another peek here to see if there's any synergy, which obviously there is not. So my strategy here is I block. I hold my shield up to block. So I'm going to do that here. I'll take damage. And then I have the criticals from Spite Sword for 8 seconds or whatever it is. So that was my goal. I don't care about a legendary. I'm going to hold my shield up. I'm going to get some... Oh, there's flask number 2. I'm going to hold my shield up. I'm going to take a little bit of damage. And then I'm going to use Spite Sword to get some crits after that. I also had Vampirism, and I gave it a shot, and it didn't really work. It really didn't do anything for me. So... there we go. That is going to continually be low on my list, right? So this build is also pretty good. So we have Alucard Alucard Shield, I think, for the second time. We get Sinew Slicer for the second time, and we have Lacerating Aura. So in general, this is a build that I would just use, right? So if I don't know, I feel like if I was just playing to play, I think maybe instead of taking Vengeance, I'd have something like Predator or Gastronomy or whatever. But other than that, this is like a build. This is just like a normal build that I use. So I'm very much comfortable here. I'm in my wheelhouse, and I'm trying to decide where I want to go because we have a cursed Stilt Village. What am I doing here? Am I going to... What are we resetting to here? Damn Vigor. And then Tainted Flask. There we go. Okay. And combo. So there you go. So that was a very long that was a very long deliberation. So even this would be more of a build that I would just take, right? So I grabbed Tainted Flask here because I am down 2 flasks, right? Or am I down 1 flask now? Yeah, I drank 2, but I'm down 1. So at this point, with that mutation, you know, if you kill X amount of elites and that number goes down as your brutality scrolls go up, if you kill X amount of elites, you end up getting a flashback. And there are going to be elites everywhere. We're on 5BC, so there's more elites. We might get some elites from the Malays. Long corridor. Long corridor. Where are we going? Right there. So I took just a little bit of damage. I took just a little bit of damage right before we hit down there. But, you know, we're going to have some elites. There's one right there, right? So we're going to be facing a bunch of elites. And I think I'm going to keep Tainted Flask for a while. We're gonna obviously, I feel like I say this every video, we'll see when we get there, right? We'll find out together. Take your pick. We'll see how it goes, but I'm pretty sure I keep Tainted Flask for a while. So the economy, right? So I talked a little bit about the economy. So one of the things I was going to disable that I'm very glad I did not was in the custom mode settings, you have an option to turn off free items. You have an option, there's like food in there, right? Yeah. You have an option to turn off free items. So stuff like something out of a chest, right? Something that comes out of a dual item altar or whatever. Like, what do we got in here? Is this just a regular chest? Yeah. So if I turned off free items, that point on my computer, that altar would not have anything. I am very glad I did not do that, because if I did, my economy would be awful. It would be awful. Because I wouldn't have enough money to reroll mutations that often. I would not be able to upgrade my weapons as much as I have been. Like, it'd be super sketch. So I'm really glad. I am very glad I did not turn that off. And you can see here, we haven't even hit the switch yet, and we're already on our second elite, right? So these elites they're out there, right? They're out there. So we're definitely going to get some flashback. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly sure that we go into spoiler boss with either 3 or 4 flasks. So we're good. We're good. We're not going to be famished over here, but Yeah, Tainted Flask is good. Tainted Flask is good. Tainted Flask is good. I think someone was just saying recently, Tainted Flask is better than Predator, and I feel like in certain situations it absolutely is. It's super great, but Predator's incredibly powerful too. But Tainted Flask, just like the giant comb, if you haven't used it, try it out. If you're down on your luck, taking it to biomes and kill a bunch of elites. If you need extra damage, drink a flask and you get whatever. I forget how much the... Oh my god, here comes the darkness, right? Oh, just in time. I forget exactly how much the percentage is by base, but like I think by the end of a 5EC game, you're going to be getting like 90% extra damage or something like that. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Two other darkness... Two other comments about the custom modifier that Oliver didn't ask for this, nobody asked for this. So the other two pieces of the darkness, I don't think I mentioned this first part. You can't die to the darkness when you're cursed. So that is a mechanic that's built in. You will take normal damage from darkness, but you will not die if you take a tick of darkness damage from while you're cursed. So that's good. The other thing is the more enemies you kill, the longer it takes for the darkness to come in. So we probably can't see it here, but if I kill an elite, let's see if it pops a little bit. There you go. You couldn't really see it too much because of the flash, but basically, like, as you kill enemies, the darkness gets a little bit further away. So the more enemies you kill more quickly, the longer it's going to take for that smoke or that darkness to envelop you. So that's another thing. If we're going back to the Sepulchre advice that I've given, like keep going, but also keep killing enemies. Don't slow down. Don't slow down. Kill as many enemies as you can. Get through it so that way the darkness will take more time. You'll have more time in the human world in the light than you would if you weren't killing the enemy. So it's another little piece of trivia that, again, nobody asked for. Nobody asked for. So here's another elite, right? So let's see. I don't know. Again, you'll see it when we end up. What do you call it? When I pick up a scroll, we'll see it. You'll see what the actual number is, because when you pick the scroll, it shows you mutations and it'll say like, oh yeah, kill 6 elites, kill 7 elites. So I didn't see what it was, so my apologies for that. I actually didn't see what it was. But I think we get at least one flask, and I think we get one here and maybe one in the next level. I'm not positive, we'll see. But very, very good mutation. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So as far as the custom mode stuff, right? So there are many good things, good in both ways, right? So there are good things in custom mode that will help you try new stuff, right? So this is a good thing for me because I've played Dead Cells for 87 years. I started when I was in my 20s. I've been playing Dead Cells for a super long time, right? So to have something new is fun. To have something new is fun. It's like a fresh cone of paint on something I've gone through 100 times. How many times have I gone through the Slumbering Sanctuary? I don't know, 1,700. I have no idea. But I've gone through here so many times, and now the mechanics are different, and it brings new life. Brings a little bit of new life into it, right? So if your runs are kind of samey a little bit and you want to try something new, go into custom mode and look all the way at the bottom, right? So go all the way to the bottom where I found this one. There's the flag one. The darkness and the fog, and there's another one in there called what the hell is it called? Oh, it's the electricity one. I already forget what it is, but basically there's one in there that will let your electricity, the dot from your shock effects will end up bouncing around to other enemies more quickly. There's one where you can no, I'm sorry, that's an aspect. The one I'm thinking about here, my brain's like, the one that I'm thinking about is there's an option where you can turn enemies into buzz cutters. It's called birds. So let's get the thought back on track here. It's called birds. So you have a bunch of enemies that will get substituted from what they normally are, and you'll see buzz cutters and kamikazes everywhere. I just got confused there because in my cell grinding video, I recommended turning on it's called superconductor. I recommended turning on the superconductor aspect with the birds custom modifier. There we go. So that shows you how often I'm in custom mode, and it shows you how often I use aspects. But there's a bunch of stuff in there, right? So I think it's worth checking out. I think you should check it out if you're looking for something new. One thing I'd be careful of, though, is when you are in custom mode, there are some options that have a padlock next to it. So those are going to lock your mutations. They're going to lock achievements, and I think they also lock the next boss cell. So if you're playing on like 2BC and you turn on a bunch of custom mode stuff, like you may not get the next boss cell. You might not get 3BC. So that's something to be aware of. On the other side of it, right? So aside from adaptation and fog and birds and, you know, there's one sharpshooters, there's all this other stuff. You can do things on the opposite side where you can start with more gold. You can make it so curse chests only curse you for 1, or you can change it so they curse you for 50. Like there's all kinds of stuff in there. So I think it's worth popping around in there. So real quick. So speaking of adaptation, this time going into the cavern, we get the whip sword and we have flamethrower turret, which I think we might have had once before. And we have knife dance. Knife dance is great. I really like flamethrower turret, and whip sword is like, it's like quiet good. It's quiet good, right? So you can see it's a two-handed weapon. It has either a whip or a sword. Surprise. It's there's no surprises what that weapon includes. But what it is that you can see on the left right here. So if you look at my main item, the left slot is a sword right now, and there's like that little spinny little circle thing to the right of it, that little recycle symbol. When you press that symbol, it changes from sword to whip or from whip to sword, and at that time it will give you a 1.5 seconds of criticals, right? So you can go back and forth. You can do whip, and then hit the transform, and then do the swords and go back and forth and get crits. I'm not really doing that, and I don't know how much I actually do it, if I really do it, because the affixes I have on the whip sword are super good. It's super good. So we have plus 80% to poison, and we also have either, I don't remember which one it is, it's either poisons the enemy or what's the other one? It's like something about shots explode into a toxic cloud, or hits explode into a toxic cloud. I forget what it is, but either way, we get some self synergy here, right? So we're going to hit the enemies, they're going to get poisoned, and then we're going to get an immediate plus 80% to poison. So you can do that. You can switch back and forth. You can go from whip to sword and sword to whip, back and forth and back and forth. But I'm not doing that, and I don't think I do it a lot because I'm already getting almost, tough hit there. Almost double damage. We're getting almost double damage just from having those two affixes on the same item. So this is good. This is good damage. Let's take another look here at the scroll count. We're at 26 scrolls coming into Cavern. I don't think I've actually picked up any scrolls yet. So we get 26 coming in here. So this is nice. This is nice. And thinking back, so we do have a flask here. So at some point, Tainted Flask did its thing, and we got ourselves an extra flask back. So that's great. And I didn't drink again, right? No, we drank twice. I bought one, and then we got one from Tainted Flask. There we go. But I'm thinking back to my routing choices, and part of the reason, now that I'm thinking about it, is I wanted to see how many scrolls I could get. I wanted to see if I kept pushing how many scrolls I can get. Oh, also, I'm remembering this now. We got a good dual stat in Ramparts, so we're up to 6 good scrolls right now. I wanted to push and see how many we could get. So Stilt Village is the faster choice, but Slumbering Sanctuary has more scrolls and scroll fragments or whatever it is, so that's the route that I took. I also came here to Cavern because I wanted to get more scrolls and scroll fragments. So I'm like, let's see how high we can push it. And I think we actually end with something that is a lot, but not like, it's not going to blow your mind. I think maybe we finished like 36 or something like that, which is very good for 5BC path. But I wanted to push. And see how many scrolls we can get. And my initial thought too was to be like, all right, we're going to do giant, and then we're going to go from giant to the castle, and we're going to do this. I decide to go straight from Giant to Hand of the King. Take a big hit there. And do I heal here? I should. Yeah, there we go. Flask number 3. Flask number 3. But I decide to skip High Peak Castle. I feel like talking about this is fine. I feel like we're all hanging in here. Hopefully the fact that I'm mostly talking kind of calmly is making the darkness and all of this stuff a little bit less stressful. I hope it's less stressful for you to see than it was for me to play. How's that? But at that point, we're gonna take trap damage here too. Man, we're getting a little bit knocked around. So that's one of the downsides of having a two-handed weapon like the whip sword, right? Is you're just gonna get knocked around a little bit. You're definitely gonna get knocked around if you're used to having a shield or something along those lines too. It's a little rough. But I decided not to. Here we go. We got another elite just popping in. So we used another flask, so that means we're gonna get one back. I decided to not go to High Peak Castle because I was super anxious. I'm pretty chill right now as we're talking about this, getting tripped up a little bit here and there or whatever, but I was very anxious at this point. So I think when I got through Giant, I don't think I had a great Giant fight. We'll find out. I was just like, I'm gonna get through this as fast as I can. I was like, we made it this far, this run's going good. I know I'm recording or whatever, and I was just like, man, I don't want to push it. So we missed a scroll or two just so that way we can get to Hand of the King quicker, get to 5BC spoiler territory quicker, etc. So I could have had more scrolls at the end if I chose to take the longer route, but sometimes you just got to do what's right for the run, right? It would be funny if we got a bunch of more dual stats and other stuff and be like, hey, I got 38 scrolls or whatever, but I just wanted to finish the run. Wasn't worth it. Wasn't worth the risk. So, but for the meantime, we are in a very dusky cavern, right? We're in a very dusky cavern here. The colors similar to the Ramparts, right? I feel like the colors of the bright pink from those crystals, I don't know what kind of color, I don't know what kind of green you would call the background here. So it's not really teal, whatever it is. Get your color wheels out and let me know what color that is. But the combination of the darkness, those bright pink crystals, that sort of shady green in the background, man, it just looks good. It just looks so good. It looks so good. I love it. But we're here. We're in Cavern, and in case you haven't noticed, we're here in the Cavern. We got 29 scrolls. It's pretty wild. But yeah, so hopefully, I don't know. I hope this isn't stressful for you folks, because again, you're seeing this for the first time, right? I did this, like I said, I compiled the footage, blah blah blah, all this stuff. I hope it's not super stressful to watch, because there's a lot happening. And I know I already said this twice, or maybe 3 times, but Oliver, I'm sorry I did all this other extra stuff. You were like, hey, can you try this adaptation thing? And I'm like, how about I make it 4 times as hard, and I barely talk about adaptation, right? But seriously though, this was a great suggestion. I got some other really fun suggestions. Some of them are kind of in a I'm not sure what the right word, normal's not the right word, but some of them are a reasonable build. I think that's the better way to put it. There's a couple of reasonable build suggestions that folks have left. One of them was I think it was an ice crossbow ice build. That's great. Someone else, I think it was some kind of tactics melee thing. I captured all of them. I have everything written down here. So that was great. But the adaptation recommendation is definitely something outside of what I would normally do, and it's so sick. There is like I mentioned earlier, this is something I've done. There's a video, I already forget what I called it. It was called Descent into Chaos. Oh, there's flask number 4. Descent into Chaos or Absolute Chaos or something. I forget what I called it there, but basically I forced myself to take every item of that color that I saw, just so that way it would keep things fresh, right? So if I I don't know, let's say I had 2 items. I have throwing knives and blood sword, and I picked up throwing knives first and blood sword second, and then I find a giant comb on the map. I'd have to get rid of throwing knives because that was what was in my kit for the longest. So you just kind of switch things out. But it's almost like not having control over that like makes it way better. Makes it way better. So I really like adaptation. There's one thing that I don't like about it, and I think it's going to happen after Cavern. So custom mode came into the game in version 1.1. So there was a big update that Motion Twin did, not Evil Empire. This is before Evil Empire took over. When Dead Cells came out 1.0, it was a little rough. So it was basically like it still felt early access-ish. Version 1.1 was, in my opinion, is basically like the retail version that should have went out. There was so much stuff that was changed. They did all this other cool shit. It's one of the most important updates in Dead Cells history. As I go down this hallway to go into a low room where there's no light, and I'm just like, it's not worth it. So I had to book it right back there. There's been a handful of moments like that already. But 1.1 is probably one of the most important updates in Dead Cells history. So like I'd throw it up there with probably 1.9. I think 1.9 is more important. That's the one that did everything. It took scrolls off of weapons. It rebalanced the economy. It changed all the crossbows to 2 hands. It introduced the backpack. Like there's so much stuff in that update. But custom mode was introduced in version 1.1. I think the update was called Pimp My Run, which is very funny for those of us who remember Exhibit's Pimp My Ride on MTV. The art was, I think, a Gullion in a car or something like that. It was super funny. But that's when they added custom mode. So if you look at my kit now, we don't have anything in the second slot. The first 2-handed weapon that was introduced into Dead Cells was the Scythe Claws, and that was with the Bad Seed DLC in version 1.7. What I think happened here is because custom mode has been around forever, because adaptation has been around forever, literally 24 updates ago, because it's been around forever, I think the dual-handed items, when it's removed, there's a empty space there that doesn't get filled. It's like the game still thinks that I have a 2-handed item. So I don't have anything but one weapon for the rest of the run. So we got Frantic Sword here. And in my haste and in my anxiety, I took melee because it had plus 30% to slow down targets. You can't slow down the giant's hands. You can't slow down the giant's hands, and you can't slow down the eyeball. So that was a complete waste of mutation. You'll see that nothing's happening, right? So I'm expecting this extra damage, and I don't get it. So there was a mistake right there. I should have known. I should have realized that. I should have thought more about it. But again, like when I was playing at this point, I was like, it's like, how do I say it? I know this game so well that like when I lose, it doesn't matter at this point to me, right? Because I've unlocked everything. I've done 0 to 5EC a bunch of times, etc., etc. So like if I lose, it's almost like I've been completely conditioned to just allow things to happen. And when I lose 100 cells, it's like whatever, right? I was nervous playing this, and I haven't felt nervous like this playing Dead Cells, maybe like aside from maybe a stream or two where I was getting super anxious because I was making dumb decisions and people were watching and whatever it was. I haven't gotten anxious during a run by myself in a long time, and I was like super anxious here. So this was another that was actually a flawless giant, huh? Whoa. I didn't realize that. I was so disappointed by my mutation choice. I didn't even realize that was a flawless fight. So hey, good for us, right? But I was nervous. This whole time. So we got the comb. We got the comb here. I don't know. Again, I don't know if I re-roll. I do. So I might re-roll here, thinking about the next. Yeah, thinking about the next level. So I'm taking Tainted Flask. We're doing Damn Vigor, and I think I'm gonna take Combo. Probably. deliberating. Yeah, I'm taking combo because I'm thinking about I want to have these mutations for like this for the boss fight and for the 5BC biome too. So Hand of the King. Hand of the King. This fight sucks in darkness. So if you look, you will see two orbs, and they're both in the spike pits. The what's the word? Radius, the diameter of their light, whatever you want to call it, big hit there. You can't activate it on the platform, so you need to dip into the spike pit in order to get the darkness away. So I feel like, again, this was something, Not Evil Empire, Motion Twin put custom mode in here. I feel like they purposely did this to troll people. Be like, oh, you want to do this thing? Well, good luck. Good luck fighting this boss, man, right? You're going to have to keep dipping into the spike pits. Do I heal here? I do. So there we go. We got Flask. Flask number 5. So this fight is diabolical. And if you notice there too, the Hand of the King just took a couple of big chunks. It's because he was in the air, and we got crits from the comb. So that was a hairy fight. That was very hairy. I did not love it. Be very careful if you play the darkness mod. Oh, good. We get 2 lights there now that Hand of the King's done. Great. And we're moving into 5BC. Moving into 5BC biome. So if you don't want to get spoiled, now is the perfect time to dip out. If you choose to do that, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Otherwise, we're going to be kicking this door in, and we're going to be making our way to the final leg of the game. Boom. Here we go. Boom. Here we go. All right, so we got Flawless. I almost went right by the forged area because I was like, I'm so used to not having to upgrade anything. So we got our Flawless there. It's got plus 60 to bleeding, and we have Cleaver, which I love, and we have Corrupted Power. Corrupted Power is good, but here's another level that just looks absolutely stunning. Like, it really, like, this level looks amazing in general, but like this whole darkness astrolab thing, this is, I'm not trying to be funny, this is absolutely stunning. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. My god, looks so good. Looks so good. Corrupted Power. So Corrupted Power gives you plus 50% damage for 8 seconds, and it also increases the damage that you take by 30%. So in theory, you look at that, you're like, oh, that's a lot of damage, and it's good. Right, it is good, but my understanding is it does not affect damage over time. So you're not getting plus 50% to your poison or to your burning oil or whatever it is. So I think it's just actual damage. So there we go. The light just popped. Light popped, and I'm saying, all right, where are we going? Like, where am I going? Where is the next light? And I could see on the corner of my screen, I could see the faint glow of the teleporter. So I knew that was the right place to go. But it doesn't do the extra stuff for your dot. So you are getting a damage boost, right? You're getting a little bit of extra from it, but it may not be as powerful as you think, right? But it's still not bad. Similar to Face Flask, you get, I forget how many actual affixes I had on this, but you get a nice chunk of affixes on here. Same thing, right? You just saw like there was a Toxic Cloud when I used it, so you're getting whatever it is, right? Toxic Cloud, and enemies bleed nearby when the effect ends, burns the ground, etc., etc. So we get a bunch of affixes, so it's still good. It's still good. I just since it does not buff dots, again, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't buff DOT, so it could be a little bit better, but we could have had worse skills. Oh boy, here we go, right? Here comes the anxiety. I activate Corrupted Power as I'm being bodied into the wall. That's the level of anxiety I'm at here, right? Where I am legitimately using skills that are going to cause me more damage as I'm taking damage. I'm just like banging the buttons. Just banging the buttons like, oh, let me do this, right? Not smart. Not smart. This is definitely one of the more stressful astrolabs I've had in a very long time. A very, very long time. But Corrupted Power, it's not bad. It ain't bad. So I could have gotten way worse. I could have gotten stuck with Bat Volley or something. This could have been way worse for where I'm at in the game. So I'm not too mad at it. So we ate food. So I marked down, we drank our 5th flask, and we have 2 left, right? So that means that we are at a 1 flask, what do you call it? Wait, am I even doing this math right? I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try. I think what I was trying to say is that we used 5 flasks, and we bought 1 and got 2 back from Tainted Flask. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. My math brain ain't working tonight. I'm just so distracted by how nice this level looks, right? That's gotta be it. I'm just like, wow, look at these fog effects. Never mind the fact that I started a sentence and I couldn't finish it. This is just beautiful, right? It's just beautiful. Oh man, but either way, something very funny happens here. I just remembered this. We are also going on a little bit of a journey here. In retrospect, I could have made a different decision here, and I'll talk about why I did what I did when we get to that point. I think it might actually be now. We'll see. Yeah, I could have. If I had known what was going to happen, I would have made a different decision. And again, this is all vagaries. We'll talk about it very soon when it actually happens. But all stuff aside, this Astrolab, again, I was nervous. So as I'm rewatching this here, I am noticing that I'm taking more damage than normal. A couple of stupid hits here and there, and this is my choice. Boom! I go to buy the large food, and we get a mimicked food shop. Right? So I'm down 2 flasks. So what I could have done is I could have just bought the flask, and then I would have had 2 extra flasks, but I didn't. And my reasoning behind this is I did not think this shop was going to be mimicked. I had no idea. So my thought was, all right, let's buy the food now, right? We'll buy the food now, we'll cruise, and then we'll come back for the flask later, depending on how many flasks we get back from Tainted Flask. But instead, we got mimicked for a big piece of food. So that's the end of buying flasks. We have no more flasks to buy. That's it. Once you buy something, once you get a mimic in a shop, everything else disappears. So that was it. So no more flasks to buy. So any of our flasks that we get recovered are going to be from Tainted Flask, which we're going to see at least... There's at least 2 more elites in the building, because you have to fight the 2, or I should say the tower. You got to fight the 2 elite birds at the end, and I think we might see 1 on the way down and maybe 1 on the way up too. So we're definitely going to get at least 1 flask back here, which is great. But unfortunately, we're not going to get any flask back from the shop. So there it is, huh? There it is. And then there it is. There's another elite. So again, similar to the Oven Knight that I fought in, I think it was in Ramparts. I knew that once I defeated it, it would drop a light. So I did not go out of my way to try to find, oh God, big hit. Out of my way to try to find another light. I was like, this is going to work. It's just going to take an extra couple of seconds. I knew between combo, flawless, cleaver, corrupted power, I'd be fine. I'd be able to take that thing out relatively quickly. And we made it. We made it to the bottom of the tower here. And here we go. Here's our 3rd good scroll. So far we have 4 challenge rifts and 3 good dual stats. So that is 7 additional scrolls, 7 additional bonus scrolls, and I think we only have 2 on the necklace too. I don't remember if we actually end up bumping past another librarian nightmare. I don't remember if we end up bumping past the 2 on the necklace if we get one that has 3 or something like that. But we're at 7 bonus scrolls. But we made it to the see, yeah, I'm just taking a lot of damage here. So I know if you've watched, how do I say this? If you've watched the channel before, you have seen me do a lot of dumb stuff, especially if you've watched a stream. Like, God love you if you see me stream. Like, my God, it's not good. But if you've watched some of the videos, you know, like, there's sort of a vibe, right? There's a vibe where, like, the beginning of the runs are just like, okay, I take a bunch of big hits. Every once in a while, I'll take hits here and there. But, like, the consistency, and here's challenge rift number 5. Funny story with this one, which we're going to see in like 2 seconds. The consistency with which I am taking damage here is not proportionate to the normal amount of damage I would take when I'm playing at this point. So, like, that just goes to show my nerves. It goes to show everything I got going on in my head, being like, am I even going to finish this thing? I don't have flasks or whatever. We got another one back. We got a flask back from Tainted Flask. You can see that right there. We got 3. Super nervous.
So I'm coming up here. We're going to take out the final 2 elites. I don't think we get a flash from them, but I may go hunting for another flash from an elite. Is that what I do? I think I look at the map and maybe try to engage with those enemies over there. Maybe not. So how about this? So we get our 5th challenge rift, and I am so anxious. I leave it. We don't go into the 5th challenge rift. So we could have left here with 36, but instead we leave with 35 because my brain was on fire at this point, and I completely just forgot. I just completely forgot about the challenge rift. So we got ourselves a really good kit. We are very lucky here. So we got baseball bat that has plus damage to bleeding and poison. We have what do we got? I'm gonna try to roll Toxic Cloud right here, I think. Come on, let's do Toxic Cloud. There we go. I saw the green lettering for bonus to poison damage, and I just walked away and was like, dude, no, that's not what you need. Just again, show you my brain was like super jazzed up here. So we're taking Tainted Flask for extra damage. We are taking support for extra damage, and we're taking disengagement for safety. We're coming into the 5BC boss here, so if you don't want to see who this is or what this is, we'll see in the next one, right? Otherwise, we're going in to see who is it. Oh, wow. Had no idea. This was super stressful because as this cutscene is playing, the darkness is coming in. I'm like, dude, are you serious right now? Oh man, but we take a sip. We take a sip from the flask, Tainted Flask, to get extra damage. I think we get maybe 10 seconds of damage on this for bonus. And look, right off the bat, we're doing great. So why? We have extra damage from support. We have the bleed, poison, and fire damage. Damage over time from the knife dance and the flamethrower turret, and we also have bonus to poison and bleeding on the baseball bat. So we have synergies all over the place. We're drinking from Tainted Flask again. Look at this, right? So we're doing excellent. This is an excellent fight, despite the nerves, right? Despite the how poorly I played through the Astrolab, my bad mutation choice with the giant, etc., etc. We're closing the door here pretty well. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure we do not take a hit in this fight. I think we chug here. Oh, this is it. I remember this. I had to go through this, and I think he does his aerial attack right here too. Yeah, so there's others. Yeah, so there it is. There's 3 more attacks that I had to dodge, and I'm just like, oh my god. But we did it. Boom. We made it through. So we had a flawless collector fight after that incredibly stressful, very complicated, over whatever you want. I just dropped my pen. Whatever you want to call that run, we made it through. We got ourselves a flawless 5BC boss victory, and we completed our first viewer build video. So even though it was a little bit more than what Oliver asked for, we got ourselves a great video, a really nice run to look back on. So again, Oliver, thank you for the suggestion. If anybody else has other build ideas or other items you want to see or whatever, hit me up. So I hope this was helpful. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Again, this was a new experience in a couple of different ways. Hopefully you learned some new stuff and we got to experience something new together, right? Thanks as always for chilling, for watching, spending time here. It does mean a lot. That does not go unnoticed. So thank you. Okay, so as always, thanks for watching and good luck out there.